What you waiting for? It's time. Time for love. It's time. Time for the sun and sand. It's time. Time for fun. It's time. It's time. It's time to let your hair down. Come on. Come on. Come on. To have no fear. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's time. What you waiting for? It's time. 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 What you waiting for?
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Boiling hot. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live edition of the Merv Brito Show. My name is Merv Brito, and it is an absolute pleasure to be with you on this beautiful day. Hope anywhere in the world, wherever you are in this world, you're having a great day so far. Coming up on today's show, we will be discussing Goan Origins candidates. They registered strong win in the UK council polls. Updates on the Indians on the ship hit by the hantavirus, and a Goan Yash Fadte on the verge of Olympic qualification. That is impressive. That's something I definitely want to talk about. A whole lot more coming up on the show, but before we jump in, as we always do, let's say hello to the team. And we're going to mix it up today. We're going to start with the Wordinator, the hello. Breakfast Queen.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Joanne Burrito.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great Sunday and you're having a fabulous weekend.
We call him the big fella. Not for the wrong reasons. He's a vertically big fella, not horizontally big fella. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ajoy Barreto.
You're too kind, Mo. Vertically, more like horizontally, actually. But hey, guys, welcome to another Sunday. We look forward to having you with us and some calls. I hope you can call this week.
Mate, you make up with your good looks, dude. I don't got to say anything more. I wish you'd be on camera. You've got a face made for radio.
There's a reason why I'm not in front of the camera. You know what?
Absolutely not.
Because I won't lend you my makeup.
Maybe.
There's another gentleman in here who is the man, the puppet master. He controls all the buttons and bows and the bells and the whistles. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Seoul, the one and only Mr. Wilbert Cardozo.
Hello everyone, hope you're having a wonderful weekend and happy Sunday.
Willie, what if they're watching this on Tuesday, man?
Happy Tuesday.
He doesn't have a mic in front of him. He's sitting in the corner like he's punished. The good-smelling Mr. Neil Rodricks.
Hey guys.
How's the Josh?
How's the Josh?
They can't see your thumbnail. Is that the thumb or your middle finger? Ladies and gentlemen, we do the show live every Sunday, and we have a good time doing it. You don't have to be Goan or Indian. You just have to be somebody who's been to Goa or knows of Goa, because this is our way of giving back to something that we're very passionate about. We do the show live every week and talk about topics that are trending, topical, startling, contentious, just anything interesting that we want to get the word out there and make people aware of. There will be topics that are mentioned on the show, and opinions expressed on the show that are expressed by the people expressing them, not the implied expressions of the Merv Brito Show in general. So we'd love to hear from you as always. Like I said, this is an interactive live broadcast. You can get in touch with us wherever you get your social media. Any of the social media handles, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Check out more information and previous episodes about The Merv Brito Show on the Merv Brito Show website, www.themervbritoshow.com. And if you want to get in touch with us, you want to send somebody a shout out, get in touch with us. Give us a call, 750-7246-246. Joanna, are you going to do any shout outs now?
Well, I've got quite a few shout-outs.
I want to send a shout-out to my beautiful niece. PJ, before I start, my pet, I'm so proud of you. Priyanka, my niece, has completed a
master's degree in education from the University of Pennsylvania.
Joanne, and she's done that in a year.
She has indeed. She's done an amazing job.
You talk about overachieving. This girl, and she's like her dad. She's understated. I'm so proud of you, my pet. I don't need to tell you. I tell you this all the time. Congratulations. Very well done. I will celebrate with you in person. Miss Priyanka Bedi. I love you loads. Any other shout outs you want to give?
Well, apart from that, because obviously we were supposed to be there, but there's a funny little geopolitical situation going on in the world right now, so we couldn't quite make that. So sadly, we weren't there for the graduation ceremony yesterday, but it looked amazing. So, like we say, we're so proud of you, Priyanka, and we know you're going to fly, and your students are so lucky to have you.
That's a noble. What she's done in education, right?
Absolutely. Because she earlier on, I was wearing my Boston college T-shirt that I got at her first graduation, so you know she's done amazingly well, and she had a great corporate career, but she really wanted to focus on education and bettering people's lives.
She used to teach the young people at the local church, and she decided one day she was in a really, really good position, a great job, and then one day decided to chuck it all in because she had this passion about teaching kids. Catholic school. She was doing the Catholic school thing, right? Initially,
she was doing a lot to prepare them for their Holy Communion and things.
I love you, my pet. I'm proud of you. We will make it up to you. We are Joanne. There's a go on.
So no, I was going to say our neighbour got married this week as well.
Gautam Sirsat.
Shout out,
Mr. Gautam Sirsat, and right next door to us here in Para, just got married. Congratulations, mate. Another one bites the dust. You know what I'm saying? This thing starts to burn after a while, but you'll get used to it. Congratulations. I don't even know his wife's name.
No, but I'm sure you'll meet her soon. It looked like they had a great celebration. I loved listening to all the music and everything.
The haldi? You saw the haldi?
I saw the haldi, and I also was listening to all of the music heralding him leaving the house, coming back to the house, all of that. It was so lovely. Mr.
Sirsat and Mrs. Sirsat, congratulations on your new journey as a couple. Joanne, we got to talk about this. There's a train, the Rajdhani. Have you ever heard of the Rajdhani trains?
I'm not familiar with them, no.
There was a fire, and everybody was talking about it. Willie and Ajoy and I were talking about it today. There was a fire on a train, and here the trains in India are in a state, not always, not in a bad way, but these trains are heavily plied, and they are a huge means of transport. Check out this fire, dude. Everybody's talking about this. Where is this happening, Ajoy?
This is in Rajasthan, I believe.
Is it? Yeah. Where is Ratlam?
Madhya Pradesh.
MP?
I'm sorry. I apologize. It's Madhya Pradesh.
Ratlam, a place called Ratlam. Nobody died, right?
No.
Thankfully not.
Yeah, amazing. That is just phenomenal. That
thank God.
It could have been so much worse.
These fires are on a train, which is it's like having a fire on a plane. You can play it. There's a sound. I know you got sound, but I'm just saying to you, at the end of the day, this is terrifying. And I love our Indian people. To check them out. Everybody wants to help. Everybody's willing to help. That is. Oh my God! Check that out, dude.
Very scary. Very scary.
It's a miracle nobody was injured or hurt or died, for that matter. But this could have been very, very bad. We've got a problem with a lot of the migrant labor that come to go and work here and go, and they had all gone back for the elections. But this is an MP, right? This is not going to affect that sector of travel. Thank God that nobody was killed. You know what, Ajay, while we're talking about this, by the way, did you see the train wreck or the train accident in Thailand?
No, tell me about it.
There was a train accident yesterday, and it's happening like 2 days in a row. This is in India, but the other one I saw yesterday happened in Thailand, and it was actually caught on film. Yeah. Do we got video?
I think we do, actually.
This is another scary one, Joanne. Check this out. And sadly, 8 people have died.
Oh, that's awful.
25 injured in train collision that sparks bus fire in Thailand.
Oh, my.
This is horrible, dude. You know what? I got to say, I lived in Thailand. I love Thailand. But some of these things that they do are crazy. They have humans and machinery working so close together. There's a market I want you to show later on where the train comes right. Look, that's all the damage, dude. There's the bus.
Oh, goodness.
This happened yesterday. There was live video footage of it, wasn't there?
Yes, here.
Check this out, dude.
Oh, dear me. How on earth can that happen?
That's what an accident's all about.
What I'm amazed here is there is a freight train going through the heart of a city.
Yeah.
The city is Bangkok, which is, I think, one of the biggest cities, if not the biggest city. of Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
One would
indeed.
think that something as large as a freight train would steer away from a crowded city.
Mr. Barreto, this is happening all around the world. Freight trains go through cities, and they've got these nakas, they've got these gates that come down, and that's exactly what an accident's about. It's sad because 8 people lost their lives, but you're absolutely right. You would think that. Thank God these are few and far between.
But the thing is, the way that happened, if you're the bus driver, you surely would have seen the train coming. Maybe there was some problem with the brakes and he just couldn't stop.
We don't know the details, but it happens all the time. It happens here in India all the time.
Yeah, but in India, you have a problem of people crossing what do you call a manned gate. Comes down here. This is the heart of the city. This is where probably trams should be going, not a freight train.
This is an accident. They're like Joanne's saying, there could have been some mitigating circumstances that we don't know about, and there's no way. Like I'm saying, this doesn't happen every day, and sadly, people have lost their lives. But this happens around the world, in the biggest and the most far advanced, technologically advanced countries. It happens, dude. It happens in the States. You have these trains and stuff like that have these rail fires and rail accidents, crossing rail lines, tanker trucks, vehicles. And it's sad, especially when people lose their lives.
I do feel nervous when I see those unmanned crossings or, without barriers and things like that, because there's always somebody that's going to be like an amber gambler and just try and beat the train or beat something that's coming ahead of them.
You're stupid enough to play roulette with or this thing, what is it called, chicken with a train? You're not going to win. You'll never win. I've seen some of the biggest vehicles get destroyed, so you can imagine a human on a bike. I've lived in Thailand. I love this place. I love the food. I love the people. And I've been in a market where the train goes. You're asking, there you go. Ajay, you're the man, dude. You got magic fingers. You think about it, and I see it on the screen. Priyanka Chopra, Deepika Padukone, Aishwarya Rai. Why would we only get the train, dude? I'm sorry, I'm kidding.
Because we want to see what they're selling at the market.
Look at the train that goes through. This is a Mekong. This is. I forgot the name of it.
Meklong Railway Market.
Ajay, this train. You want to talk about cutting it fine? Look at this.
It is pretty. In a very, very congested area for sure.
Dude, this is every day, a couple of times a day, and people don't even blink. As soon as the train goes by, all the table and chairs come back out, and the strings and the lines and everything comes back out. And then when you get a warning, you'll get people start moving shit out of the way. The train's coming. But look at this. The train's literally going over the bhaji. It kind of cools the bhaji down. You get an extra nice flavor in the bhaji. You know what I'm saying?
It looks like it's trimming the bhaji.
No, that's what I was going to tell you.
He's in the train toilet.
Huh?
Hey,
hang on. That's what
Neil wants to know where the train toilets dump out.
You can never do this in India.
Why?
Because you would get exactly what you just said. You'll get all of those flavorings coming from the train.
Why do you think Thai food tastes that good?
No, you can make out. The train itself is so clean. And I actually have traveled to Thailand, and I've never seen
Bangkok.
Did
you go?
No, I think you did.
Tell me about Thailand. Sorry, Ajay.
I was just going to say, the Thai people are pretty clean.
Bangkok? I'm asking you where you went in Thailand. Get your mind out of the gutter, you pervert.
I just told you Bangkok. I went to...
I know, but where did you go?
Siem Reap. All of these places, man.
Listen, if this kind of stuff is happening in the heart, in the center of the city, and people are not getting killed every day, it's a miracle. So these guys are experts at this. Anyway, you know what? We laugh and joke.
I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, Baba.
Have you ever been? Why doesn't Indian pedestrians or people on bikes in India cross a railway? What do you call bridge? An open railway bridge. Have you ever seen that?
An open railway bridge, like an overhead bridge?
Overhead bridge, which doesn't have any coverings underneath.
Why?
Because they don't want to be sprayed on. Do you get it?
Spit on, sprayed on.
All of the above.
oh dear.
Dude, I've always wondered where, because I've never seen any septic or you know what I'm talking about? Like a tank that comes and cleans the train. Where does all the matter go from the toilets?
Oh, do we really have to do this? It's Sunday.
Shut your mouth, Neil. Don't you dare. It goes in the track.
Yes, of course.
But airplanes get their tanks pumped when they land. But I've always wondered, and here again in Thailand, don't tell me they've got special stuff that comes and cleans, empties the tanks. It ends up on the veggies. That's why Thai food tastes so good.
No, don't.
I love my Thai food.
The Thais at least have got that right. Don't put them on the same thing as India. We are in a league of our own here.
We are. But sadly, 8 people lost their lives. You know what? I also mentioned about these Goan candidates, since we're talking about different countries. Joanne, in your backyard, some of our Goan candidates registered huge, strong wins.
Yes. So
talk about them.
Indeed, sorry. It was the local UK council elections in May, on the May 7th. And apparently 20 Goan origin candidates actually won seats across Brent Council, Hounslow Council, Croydon, and also Swindon. So Swindon's the only place where it's slightly west of London. The rest is part of London and Greater London.
Is Southall still Punjabi?
Southall is full of Indian people, you know that, and also it's right near Heathrow Airport as well. And we used to go for some great food there.
Oh, dude. Can I? Sorry, I'm going to make a quick joke. I'm going to tell you this. And one thing that bothers me when we live there is you don't have any good Goan restaurants. I missed my shit curry, prawn curry, all the stuff. We never found a good Goan restaurant. If you've got this many candidates and they're taking over the place, God only knows we should have some killer food there. Goan food.
Yeah, there was one in central London, but I don't think we frequented that place. But I'm sure there are quite a lot. And I think a lot of these people in the local councils also do a lot of local outreach and, do have some Goan festivals as well.
It's impressive. Mm-hmm. You mentioned 20?
Yeah, there's 20 of them.
That's 20 of our Goans that are not in Goa that are doing really, really well in the UK. And now these guys have won council seats, yes?
Yes.
But that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is, because, I was talking to Ajoy a little bit before the show, and I was saying that there's a smattering of people in the Labour Party as well as the Conservative Party, and I was explaining that the Labour Party is more of like the socialist trade union party traditionally, for the workers, and the Conservative Party was more a case of law and order, earlier in its heritage. But I said it doesn't matter to me, what colour of the party and obviously what colour of the person. It's basically if they're doing the right thing for local people. And we say a lot in the UK, there was a brand called Ronseal, and it was basically for DIYers, and it was saying, does what it says on the tin. And ultimately, all I would say is, we always say in the UK, if you do what it says on the tin, we're more than happy if you're doing good for your local community.
I wish these people would stay and do that here in Goa. Yeah, we need these kind of people right here in Goa. They don't need to go to the UK, but it makes you proud, because these are Goans that have gone to the UK and worked their tails off.
Yeah.
This is not given to you. This is not handed to you.
No, of course not.
You've got to work your butts off to get to where you're going. You're telling me that you've got that many Goans to vote for our Goans, or it's just the local community, whoever they may be?
It's the local community, because especially in local politics, people are obviously, really looking on a micro level, like what is going on in my area? Are they doing the right kind of things for the transport, for the infrastructure, for, anything that's affecting people's lives on a local level. And some people will vote differently during the local council elections than how they would on the general elections, because, they're very partisan for maybe family line politics. But when it comes to a local level, as long as you're doing what you're saying you're going to do for the betterment of the community, people are happy to cross party lines traditionally.
But results speak for themselves.
Yeah, of course.
Right? But I'm saying a lot of these people have been there in the UK for a long time. They're UK British citizens.
Yeah.
And they can stand for elections. What would happen if you tried to stand for election here? I'd vote for you.
I was musing about that earlier on. I don't speak Konkani, so maybe that rules me
I wouldn't vote for you then.
I want to know which Samaj you come from, Bandari or what Bahujan?
कौन रे आज कोंकणी होलो इधर मरे तो सांग
These are all pertinent questions before she joins.
What is it?
Goan politics. Which caste? Which jat?
जाट तो है सिर पे नहीं है लेकिन जाट है sure है. What I'm saying to you is it makes you proud because these guys are going and they're doing well in another country. You'd love to see that here, but I'm saying to you, it also speaks volumes for the way politics is operated here in Goa, that these smart people can't do what they want to do here because the system is so screwed up. And it just continues like a spinning wheel. This continues on, and nothing changes. So it's sad because these people are they're obviously smart people, hardworking people that have had to go somewhere else to succeed. What else are we going to talk? I want to talk about this dude, this Yash Fadte. He's a Goan. Goan. He's a Goan, not origin. Goan gentleman.
Yes.
Who's a squash player. I love squash.
Yeah.
There's also a girl named Crizzle something, right? Let's talk about these two young people because...
Chanel Criselle, she is.
Chanel Criselle? Talk about this guy because I think what he's doing is Yash, I am so happy to hear this. He's setting his target for the Olympics.
Yes.
In squash.
Yeah.
Sacrifice, hard work.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
So essentially, squash is going to be introduced into the Olympics for the first time in 2028. So he's a graduate in the US, and he's turned his back on a career at this point in time. So yeah, he basically said, I can come back and I can start working at any time later on down the line. What I want to do is focus on my craft, focus on my sport. So he's going to Barcelona. He's joining an academy so that he can focus and practice and play with some of the best people in the world to improve his game, improve his skills so that he can qualify for the Olympics.
That's what's it called? That's sacrifice. That's the word I'm looking for. That is dedication.
Yeah, he's got a goal and he's working towards it. So he was in the US for 4 years. And as I say, he graduated, and he also turned down a scholarship at Harvard as well.
Wow. So he's a smart kid, dude.
Yeah.
Yash, if you're out there, which I know you are, I don't know where you are, you're in the US or back in Goa, all the power to you, my friend. I love to hear young people with a mission, with the dedication and goals and the discipline to be able to attain, achieve, strive. Look, he's a good-looking cat, dude. Player of the year. There's his proud parents. I love squash, and I really forget about Indian. More importantly, he's going, and the fact that if he sets his sights to be able to excel at the Olympics in Barcelona.
No, the Olympics is in Los Angeles. He's gone to Barcelona to train.
Oh, gotcha.
Because he's joining an academy so that he can train and he can pit himself up against some great squash players to improve his game and improve his skills.
He could have gone and Ajay would have taught him at the Panjim Gymkhana. Ajay played squash.
Actually, speaking here from Club Tennis de Gaspedias.
Shut up.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, wait there. You thought I was saying, look, I was just kidding. I mentioned Panjim Gymkhana, but Gaspar Diaz. So he's definitely a going cut, dude. A smart kid. I hope he kills it.
Can you imagine if a Goan wins a medal at any of these Olympics? That'll be something so great.
Baba, तुका 1 लाख गावता cash. तुका एक किती दिवचे पडटा? एक 2-wheeler दिवचे पडटा, 1 fridge, and 32-inch TV गावता.
Okay.
Huh?
All right.
And 1 plot of land.
1 plot of land also.
10 by 10.
10 by 10.
Dude, I swear, you know what? These people are all Goan origin people that have gone around the world, different countries and different places, but they're still Goan Indian at heart. I wish them all the best. Talk about this young lady, Crizzle. She's a rugby player.
Yeah.
Yeah? Crizzle, Chanel Criselle, is it Crizzle Chanel?
Chanel Criselle.
Coco Chanel. There it is. Who's this?
Chanel Criselle.
Chanel Criselle. Okay.
On a return to the senior...
Get close to your mic, mate. Your mic's too far away.
On her return to the senior Indian women's rugby team, she leads a tricolor charge to Tashkent, Uzbekistan for the CASA Sevens on May 16th and 17th.
Oh,
that's today.
Hey, today, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how they're getting on. I love the Sevens tournaments because they're really quick fire games.
She's a proud. This is a proud moment for Taligaon and Goa as we cheer Team Indian in their quest for glory. Wow, wishing them strength, unity, victory on the internet. This is in Uzbekistan. Go Crizzle, Chanel.
Neil, just check out during the show, see what the updates are on the Sevens tournament, and just see how,
there's a women's team. So she's made the Indian team, yes?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Indian team.
Wow. Come on, Paul.
Dedication. I love that because I do enjoy rugby, actually. So obviously in the year of the World Cup.
It's more than rugby. You know what I like? I think that it's more important that you have people that are willing to get off their asses and work. We've talked about this. We've got snowflakes here in Goa. They want all the success in the world, but they don't want to put in the time.
Well, I was basically saying to you, I kind of feel like it's a bit of an epidemic globally, that people want to get maximum amount of money for minimal amount of effort. And this is a time of year when many, many people are graduating. And years gone by, if you had a degree, the world was your oyster and you could go on and do anything you liked. But these days, there's just not as many jobs out there. However, there seem to be a lot of people being extremely picky, even at a time when there's less jobs and AI is taking over a lot of these internship jobs and these like graduate level jobs in, first level jobs after finishing your university. It's a shame.
People don't realize that, and it makes me sad because we run a company, we run a business, and we've got a lot of employees. You do a lot of interviewing, and everybody wants to start at the top. Back in the day, our parents worked their tails off. Blue collar, 9 to 5, out in the fields, plowing the fields. It's not easy, but these people like Crizzle and Yash are willing to study hard. They've got obviously education, knowledge, but they're willing to put in the time to make the team. This is the India team, dude. This is a big deal. And this comes from hard work, sweat, dedication, commitment, good parents, good genes.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to a podcast with Emma Greed. So she's someone that she's an amazing entrepreneur, and she's from the UK, but she basically she launched Skims with one of the Kardashians. So she's an amazing businesswoman.
Is she from Goa?
She's not from Goa. She's from London, in fact, but she lives in LA now. But she's on Shark Tank and Dragon's Den and stuff like that. And she gives a lot back to the community. And she just basically said, listen, people don't get get their success by sitting on their sofa 3 days a week and expecting top dollar pay. And, they're just going to hit the big time. If you do hit the big time, all the better for you. But people will be few and far between without putting in the effort and the graft and being consistent with it.
So if you're not willing to put in the time, you ain't going nowhere. I'll do a 9 to 5, and that's all I will do. And I want the biggest salary, and I want the biggest raises, and I want all the benefits of being the boss, but I'm not willing to put in the time. It happens all the time. Speaking of Indians overseas, there was a hantavirus ship.
Yes.
They've said there's a couple of Indians on that ship. Any news about that? We spoke about it last week.
Yeah, so the Indians, there were 2 Indians on the ship and they were part of the crew. So there were 30 crew members that made their way back from the Canary Islands and then docked in Spain. And the Indian Embassy in Madrid in Spain basically said that these crew members were actually safe and well, which is fantastic to hear. It's really good news to know that, they haven't been affected negatively by this situation. So,
any news on what part of India?
I'm not sure.
They don't tell you that. But I mean, that's check for me because these poor people were on the ship. They got the hantavirus, and they've got to be in quarantine for like 40 odd days, dude.
Yeah.
If that gets out of hand, just like COVID, this is not as bad as COVID, obviously. But if that gets out of hand, this could cause another pandemic, an epidemic. No.
Yeah. The World Health Organization says it's not another COVID.
It's not. But what part of India? I'd love to know what part of India. There was only a couple of them.
There were 2 of them. Yeah. It doesn't actually state it.
I'm glad they're home. We wish them all the best. I'm glad they're actually fine. They're home back in India. But it is a topic that was spoken a lot about. Watching the news, it was all over the place, and they talk about it so much. And people have to understand it's not as bad. It's a bad virus, but it's not as transmittable or easily transmitted as COVID. Speaking of the news, did you hear Narendra Modi? Joy, I want to get your opinions about Modi ji. I want to hear what you got to think. You've heard the words austerity, cutting back, saving money. Mate, this blows my mind. PM Narendra Modi urges wartime austerity to save the economy. Don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. What is this all about? Do we not have enough money in India that the poor people living and trying to survive have to cut back on anything? Obviously, you got to do your share, Ajoy, but
yeah, so the Prime Minister during this week had come out and asked in a rally. I think it was not a official communication from his office or any sort of thing. He's been talking about what
Move the mic closer.
Yeah, he's been talking about us saving on fuel by carpooling, by working from home, from not buying gold. He said prevent buying of gold.
Gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gold.
Why gold?
So it has to do with forex because I think it affects the economy somehow. I ain't no expert, but it affects the economy. I think it maybe affects the exchange rate for the dollar, for example. So this is all linked to the economy as a whole, as it is affected by the issue, the war with Iran that's happening with the US.
Yeah, and I was going to say, just on the gold, it essentially says that during wedding season, it puts a huge amount of pressure because more and more people will be investing in gold at those times of year as well.
I think it's a crock of shit. Can I tell you what? I don't agree with this, and I'm going to speak my mind about this, and this is why we do this. I can air my own opinion, but it's my own opinion. Why should I have to do? Yes, obviously, I am absolutely all for helping and doing my share and contributing, but you've got a government. You've got multiple levels of government that are in charge of doing their jobs. It shouldn't take the public and you asking the public. Yes, obviously the public has to contribute and do your share and do your civic duty. Yeah. But let me tell you, every time Narendra Modi comes to Goa, you know how many crores they spend for security and the roads being closed and new helipads and all this kind of crap? Now, if anybody needs to be austere, it's the government. You need to cut back on waste, on money that's being spent and wasted for projects. And you've heard of all these projects that we're doing here, and that's only in Goa. Can I tell you how many thousands of crores of money get wasted that the government could save if they were just a little bit more, forget about austere, if they were a little bit more smart and they had the people doing their jobs. And you've got some very capable, very smart government service, government employees. But there's too much bureaucracy, red tape, and bullshit that these guys struggle to overcome. But yes, individuals need to do their share, but the government has to do more. This is a time of crisis, mate. The war, the Iran war that the US and Israel started is affecting us massively in this country. Yeah. Let me tell you, didn't we have a crisis before the war started?
Exactly.
Weren't there crores of rupees that were being wasted by the government? On a localized level, think about it in Goa. We spend crores, or we contribute crores in taxes. You really think your money is being properly spent?
Yeah, I think you've probably got a good point on that. But apparently because of the war situation, because of the escalating price of crude oil, they're saying that that's making inflation even more volatile. And that's why they're just essentially saying to people to please, back off from investing in the gold, because it's normally seen as a safe haven. But it's saying the ongoing inflation is fueling high interest rates across the globe.
Yeah, but this is not the norm. This is an anomaly. This is something that's happened that you do not control. You're talking about buying gold and trying to stabilize the Indian rupee and all this kind of crap. This is on a level that's way above us buying gold or trading all of this kind of stuff. Yeah. This is the economy level, right?
Yeah, but India is importing 88% of its crude oil, and that's a huge amount of reliance on external factors.
Sweetie, that is a cause. This is a byproduct of the war. Yeah. I'm talking about on a macro level. The government controls and manages the economy and the rupee and all these things on a massive level, right? You've got some of the smartest, most capable, hardworking people in government.
Yeah.
But the speech that Narendra Modi made, Modi ji made, yes, everybody can do their share. You have to contribute to help the situation, right? But it's like we just talked about these people excelling in other countries. These politicians go elsewhere to excel. Yeah. Why can't our local Indian politicians get their shit together and do a good job here? Right?
That would be great.
On any level, the money that they've got, we're not broke. We're not some country that doesn't have, we're not a Pakistan. And I don't mean any jab or any stab at Pakistan. I'm just saying to you, India is one of the largest, what is it, the second, third largest economy in the world?
No, they was aiming for the fourth. I think it's fifth or sixth.
The point I'm trying to make, stop asking of the goddamn people to do more. The government, get your shit together, and they should be doing more, no?
Yeah, I'm not understanding why he's saying foreign travel. He's trying to get people to refrain from foreign travel also. Why would that be?
Not a clue.
My issue is, I understand that this is a wartime directive or an appeal, but why couldn't it have been done before things got bad, right? Like you're talking about austerity, like you rightly said, we see the kind of wastage that occurs by the bureaucracy. We have so many projects that we wanted to talk about that today, but we didn't have enough time. But there's so many projects in Goa itself that have been started and led nowhere with that taxpayer money being a write-off.
Yeah,
and
wasted.
Why when you talk about austerity, it is only after the Prime Minister's appeal you have people like this gentleman who is a politician taking the metro station. Right? Mm-hmm. Why does this have to happen only after an appeal? Why can't that be a standard for India, for our bureaucracy? They were advising us to take mass public transportation. Where is it?
Proper public transportation.
Yeah, we don't even have mass buses, public buses, proper buses, which are interconnected.
In Goa. Yeah.
So we don't even have that option, right? So this should have been something that should have been inculcated in the country long ago.
I agree with you 100%. Listen, we're not some broke, backward country. We've got some of the smartest minds, natural resources, funds. It just needs to be managed. There's a lot of glaring examples of mismanagement. When you talk about a macro level, that's what the government has to do. But I'm saying here, we've spoken about Unity Mall, the hop-on, hop-off buses, all these projects. Joanne, you've had a list of them.
Yeah.
Go on.
Go for it.
No, carry on first.
You have,
I'll jump
again,
back.
come again. You see this, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. The people are asking if they could downsize their convoys. Now, in this case, he's riding a bike to work. Right, to show that he's consuming less amount of fuel. Why couldn't they downsize the convoy of cars from 50 to 1 before? Why it has to be now?
It may not be 50 to 1, but even if it's 50 to 5. Yeah,
exactly.
That's tenfold. The fact you're spot on. I was giving you examples of what happens here in Goa. We spoke about Unity Mall.
Yeah,
Crore's been wasted.
Yeah,
hop on, hop off buses. Crore's been wasted. All of this stuff that's happening here in Goa, and I love Goa, and I'm not bagging anything or anybody, but I'm saying to you, why should it take austerity in a time of crisis? This should be like the people of Nepal. I know Nepal's a different country. It's a much smaller country. But if you've got such smart people, you got your PMs and your CMs in charge, and they've got their cabinets and the ministries. If these guys were doing their jobs, yes, you got to have the public help contribute. But if these guys were doing their job in the roles that they were elected to perform, you wouldn't only need to tighten up your bootstrings in a time of crisis. You could be showing as examples of any state in the country, but you could be showing glaring examples of how you can be successful and cut back the fat, trim back the fat, stop wasting money, not only during a crisis, but all the time. Use that money wisely.
Correct.
Joanne, we've talked about land here in Goa and how all the scams and the Communidade laws being abused and so many bad things that are happening here in Goa. We're talking about Narendra Modi's speech. Let's talk about here locally. Can we talk about?
But I was just going to say regarding those projects, because the Herald had done a report this week about the Goa tourism non-starters. So one of those was the Unity Mall, which was 168 crore. That was moved from Chimbal.
Stop. 168 crore. Ajay, could you put that money to better use?
You could definitely spend it on public transportation before a mall.
Yeah.
But that's the point. That's not 16 crore. That's 168 crore. That's one project. Sorry, Joanne, go on.
Yeah, so that was moved from Chimbal due to the protests from the locals.
Did anybody get a breakdown? Did the enforcement department, did anybody, the auditing department, the finances, a breakdown of where that 168 went? It happened. It's gone. It's disappeared. Thin air, right? That's only one project. Why is the what it would be called, the controller? Why is this not made?
Yeah.
Why would it not be made public knowledge? Advertised. We spent 168. It was wasted, but this is where it went. Next.
Yeah, there was some projects that had touted for seaplanes across the Mandovi and Shapura rivers, amphibian bus, Panjim Race Margus ropeway, helicopter tourism, Old Goa heritage site as a heritage centre, and a Vagator land
That's
development.
enough. Joanne, you mentioned so many really interesting, fun, great enhancements to a tourist destination.
Yes.
But measure 50 times and cut once, right?
Yeah.
All of I don't know how much, I don't know the details, but I'm sure they've spent a lot of money and wasted a lot of money on these schemes.
Yeah.
That have not come to fruition.
Yeah, so basically the Herald is saying that it was like the graveyard of world-class promises. So it's just a real shame, because I'm sure that, some of these things could have been great ideas, but you've got to scope these things out initially.
Check out this.
Yeah, you know what, Marv? The criminals are going to be very scared now.
Oh.
Now that the police are on bicycles.
Dude, I love this, man. I'm not bagging on these guys. I absolutely love this. Get off your asses. Get out of the station. Patrol the streets, do your job, let people see a visible change. Let the criminals see a visible difference, right? This is what you want to see. You got it on the screen. I love this, guys.
Yeah.
But why can't these austere measures be implemented? Just smart economics be managed and controlled here in this beautiful place. Let it go to rack and ruin. And I keep going back to the example of our poor customs and enforcement and immigration. What are the guys on the river? The river, the water. The captain of ports.
Yeah.
Mate, they don't have a budget for fuel, or the budget doesn't permit them to do their jobs. But if you find the people for breaking the rules and use that money towards implementation and enforcement, it's a reoccurring, it's a regenerative financial machine. There's money in the budgets and the coffers to do your jobs. These people that are fishing illegally off your coasts, the people that are breaking the rules on the water. If you don't have enforcement agencies like you see these police on bikes.
Yeah, is that exercise though?
And it's great exercise. It's great exercise. You kill 15 birds with one stone. The fact of the matter remains, you've got so many people breaking rules and laws, and there's no transparency, there's no enforcement. You can fine these people. I've been fined for mistakenly cutting trees in Para. I got in trouble. We bought a property, and for the people to do their survey, my guys went and cut a couple of trees, and we didn't try to do anything illegal. And I got fined for that. I'm happy to pay the fine. I broke the law. But at the end of the day, if these guys are watching...
You didn't know it, though.
I didn't know it, Joanne, and I'm happy to pay the fine. The point I'm trying to make is this happens on a daily basis, and this is people's full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So if you want us to be austere, you want to be saving money, yes, everybody has to do their share. Don't litter in public, don't break the rules, and if you make a mistake, everybody makes mistakes, you pay the fine. But these are on a governmental level. We've had, what do they call it? We were going to talk about the regularization of or land grab. What do they talk about, Ajay? What were we?
The Communidade, but aren't you going to talk about Trump?
I thought you would...
What about?
About Trump right now.
Oh, I thought it was...
Oh, but that's a joke. That's something funny I'd mentioned. I want to talk about. Narendra Modi ji is saying to be austere. Why is nobody... Trump's the opposite, dude. Nobody's buying his gold card scheme. Quickly, dude. I only was being funny. I was being silly. This is so stupid. No one is buying Trump's gold card. Immigration attorneys say the $1 million visa scheme is unethical.
Why do you think that is, Mo? I thought everybody would be going for it.
Seriously?
This is another guy that jumps before he leaps before he looks, right? Here again, he's got to go $1 million. If you want to work in the States, and if you're in a position where the company can pay $1 million, you can have a visa. He's chasing people out of the country because they're there illegally. I agree with it to a degree. You're making it so difficult for good, qualified people to come and work legally in your country. Of course, you're going to have a lot of illegalities and people coming there illegally. But some of these harebrained, scatterbrained schemes are not going to work.
I'm amazed that people have not gone for this. I thought 1 million would
be... Are you kidding me?
1 million would...
You'd spend $1 million to get a visa.
There are a lot of people who could afford $1 million, I'm sure.
There are a lot of companies that could sponsor people that they need there, and you've got some of the best, some of the smartest people from around the world that want to come and work in the States. Would any company, and I don't care, unless you're like what's a Google dude, Sundar Pichai or your IBM, like there's a lot of big time CEOs where their companies would gladly spend $1 million on a visa.
Still a lot of money though.
But guess what, man? We got the best buffaloes that could rival Trump in India.
Buffaloes?
Buffalo.
Are you calling him a buffalo?
Check out this.
Dude, that's a Donald Trump haircut. That's a albino buffalo, dude. He's got the same barber as Donald Trump. They've got the same hair color and hair, but Donald Trump doesn't have horns. Stop it.
Yeah, he has it under that hair. I'm telling you.
He actually had a haircut.
You know what they say? The owners normally look like the pets. This should be Donald Trump's buffalo. They should gift this to him. Screw $1 million. If I gift this to you, Donald, I want lifetime entry into the United States. How cute is that buffalo?
It kind of looks like him, doesn't it?
It is. What do you think I'm saying? God damn, it's got the same. This is the same guy that goes and cuts Donald Trump's hair and bleaches and I'm being silly.
I was going to say, have they bleached it? Because actually,
Sweetie, it's an albino.
He had his hair cut this week, and he actually looked a little bit better because he wasn't doing so much of the sweep over.
These are amche Goa mare.
No, it's not Goa, but
it's not Goa.
It's not Goa, but it's somewhere.
Goa is the wild bison kind of thing. This is a buffalo. Oh, that's cute, dude. Okay, enough of that. I'll stop. I'm not being silly anymore. We were talking about the illegalities and austerity and all these things that are happening here. We mentioned the land grabs, the 1,000-crore scams that were unearthed in the PWD. All of these things that are happening here, these are all have everything to do with what we're talking about, austerity and Narendra Modi talking about being able to cut back. Talk a little bit about these. I want to know what happened. What is this about, the regularization? Or land grab. PIL takes Communidade law to high court. What's this about?
I think this is something to do with a recent bill that was passed by this current government, where they were planning to regularize, all encroachments, illegalities, illegal structures that have come on the Communidade land, which is basically community land which belongs to all Goans, right? Mm-hmm. So now here you have a public interest litigation that has gone to court, questioning that. And it's a good question that needs a proper answer, because why should you reward illegality? Why should you reward somebody just going and plonking on a piece of land and saying that, hey, this is mine?
Who's responsible for it?
Yeah, exactly. So the government, by regularizing that, is doing the entire nation, if not Goans, a disfavor, especially people who have stuck to the law and abided by the law, worked hard.
Why should you get penalized?
Yeah, why should one person get the law deliver a different result for them when they do illegal things, and the people who do legal things, have to run around like in circles, like in your case?
Yeah.
Right?
God.
So this is the question I think that it comes down to with regards to this public interest litigation.
Can I clarify something, by the way? The Communidade is not a national thing. The Communidade is a local community that owns the property, the sons of the soil, the people from those individual villages. Yes, Joanne?
Yeah. So what intrigued me was this phrase that it actually applies exclusively to landless individuals, and it overrides other state laws. So if you don't own land, you're landless. So the point is, I don't understand that. If you don't own land, then surely you have to be able to buy it.
But you should get special privileges in a village, right?
Well,
but it's not. This is to benefit the people that can't afford to buy land. I don't have any land, and we worked our tails off to be able to buy what we are able to buy. Mm-hmm. But it's for the people that this property, this Communidade property, belongs to the Communidade, the sons of the soil, right?
Yeah.
The point is that why should people be allowed, or rules be broken under plain sight? There are government bodies and enforcement agencies that should be fixing this.
I'll tell you a story.
It's not a long one. We're going to get into the 1,000-crore scam, but go on.
No, but this is a very pertinent response to Joanne. She's asked the question. So I remember going once campaigning to what we consider a slum in Talegaon.
Yeah.
Kumburjua. It's Kumburjua, not Kumburjua. What's it called? It's something with C. It's in Taligaon. And we were going around, talking to them about hygiene and, about even voting, how to vote correctly, vote for things, and, vote for the right candidate.
In the slums?
In the slums. It's not a slum, but you can consider it what we would call a slum in Goa. So I remember we met with, there were these people living in very small, tiny areas there. And there was one guy who came up to us, and I'll never forget this. He says, you think these guys, you're talking about providing them housing and this and that. You think they don't have houses back in Karnataka or in Maharashtra? These guys have their own houses in Maharashtra, Karnataka, and they're keeping that. They've got an election card over there, but they're coming here and setting up this and actually leeching off the system. And this was a guy who was staying there.
Ajay, that's such a brilliant point. I'm so glad you mentioned that. That is so true, yeah? You need to take care of your local Goans, the people that are indigenous, born and raised, sons of the soil, right?
Yes.
And I have nothing against people from Maharashtra or from Karnataka. The fact of the matter remains that you need to have rules that are crystal clear, that are enforced. You already have rules in place. There's no gray area. There should be black or white, right? But it's up to the authorities, the local authorities. You need people in power to be clean, to be uncorruptible, to perform their roles to make sure that it benefits local Goans. Why should I give priority or preferential treatment because they're going to vote for me to somebody from a different vote bank, to bring him here illegally and give him a place so that you have to vote for me kind of thing? That's not how it's supposed to be. But there again, you need laws to be enforced, people to do their damn jobs. It's simple.
And you take an example of Zuari
Nagar.
Industrial
Nagar,
area.
no.
Yeah, Zuari industrial area. That area was given for industry, for creating jobs,
and it's become a Dharavi.
It's become a Dharavi. People have just gone and put up whatever they can, and now they want those to become permanent houses. How does that work?
It doesn't work. It shouldn't work. But that's where you need leadership to step in, right? You need people in authority and power, the people that are tasked with the enforcement, tasked with to do their jobs, to go and enforce these rules, Ajay, with the backing of your superiors, the government officials that are there to back you, controllers and your ministers, but do your jobs.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I was reading about this, and it was essentially saying that these houses needed to have been, in order to regularize them, they needed to have been built before the 28th of February 2014. So that's like 12 years ago now. And the people there that had built them needed to have been resident of Goa for 15 years as well.
That's cool. That's fine.
I
Wrong?
disagree.
Why?
All houses. 2014 is nothing.
Baba,
it's like
you've got to have a cutoff date. You've got to have some starting point, Baba.
Okay, so let the houses be before 1990. Why it has to be 2014? That means every illegality up to 2014 is allowed.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're essentially saying, sort of a little bit to your point, Ajoy, is that these people must not own any other land, house, flat, or ancestral property.
There you go. There's the fine print that you got to read and have to have it enforced.
But it's all fine on paper. Do you have a national registry of people owning land?
No,
Aadhaar card.
yeah, of course.
Rubbish.
Aadhaar card? No.
No.
You have people from out of who are not even citizens of India getting Aadhaar card. It is manipulated, and you will never get to the bottom of this. It will never be solved. And even if this goes ahead, you will have still further illegalities eating into whatever is left in Goa.
Okay, how many times have I said this, dude? You want me to get into should I tell you about Teriak?
No.
Go for it.
So, yeah, I'll tell you about it if you ask me nicely. Ajoy, Mr. Barreto, you handsome dude. How long, you're buying me dinner, by the way. How long have we lived in this country where countries all around us, all around the world, have a system of registration to know everybody's identity? In the U.S., you got a social security number. You cannot forge. You cannot get a social security number unless you are a U.S. citizen. For benefit reasons, for contribution taxes, for everything, right? Why is India still not have a national registration process?
Aadhaar card is that?
Bullshit. He just told you Aadhaar card is flawed. Why? But this is the point I'm trying to make. People, I think, what's his name? Who's the guy from MAPSA? who we interviewed.
Shashank.
Shashank mentioned it. Keep him down, keep him dumb, keep it a mess. So you have to pay you have to pay people that are doing their jobs just to do something legal, right? Why in how many years? 50 years? Do we not have a bulletproof blockchain type of system to register legal citizens of India? No matter where you're from, no matter what you own, no matter your history should be tied to an immovable, impenetrable, manipulable system, like a blockchain technology, and everybody has a number. The Aadhaar card is flawed. Your PAN card is for taxes. But why don't we, after all these many, many years, rather than reinvent the wheel, have a system of registration of every resident of India, so you can see who owns property where? My social security number, 225, I shouldn't say that.
What you say?
I'm not going to say the point is that you can tell everything about Mervyn Brito by my social security number. The social security number in the US is your fingerprint. Why don't you have that in India?
Right.
So you're worried about who owns what, where? I put in my uncle's name, my auntie's name, my cousin's auntie's uncle. Mate, just do the right thing. Have a system in place that can be implemented so that people are not coming here from out of state and screwing the local Goans who deserve every bit of benefit in the Communidade.
You know, Merv, have you heard of this Naksha survey that's happening in Goa?
What is Naksha? Naksha has nails.
I know what it's maybe an abbreviation for something in Hindi or Konkani. It was initiated by the state government, if not by the central government. So that survey is happening right now in Goa, where they're going to every nook. They're supposed to go to every nook and corner.
Is that the census that we were talking about?
No, that's different from the population census.
Okay.
This is called the Naksha survey.
Right.
So these guys are actually, and when I say these guys, I'm sorry to say these are teachers who are forced to go walk around in this heat, this horrible heat.
Baba, enough. Excuse me. We work in this heat. What? We do this every day.
No, but Merv.
You're doing a job.
When you have joined as a teacher, this is not your job.
That's true.
Okay?
True.
Either you hire people to do that job, or you make sure that these teachers are not teachers and they become the department heads for which they're doing the job for you.
Agreed.
So they're going around Goa, and they are doing a survey of land. They're basically going to plots. Say my plot. They're saying, whose plot is this? Mine. They'll do the measurement on the outside. Sometimes they even come inside the house, check the number of rooms. Okay? And then they say, show us the sale deed. Now, you know what you know how stupid that is?
What?
That means the government doesn't know squat about who's built what in this country.
I don't know.
We have people like us, you and me, will be forced to go through 10 levels of approvals, etc., providing plans to our houses, etc.
But that's what I'm talking about.
And these guys don't even know what the sale deed is. The sale deed should be in that file, right?
Ajoy, why do you need a stranger to go around? By the way, this happened to me. The other day they came here to the building and they asked me, how many people, where do you live? What's your flat number? How many people, how many kids? Do you have an air conditioner? Do you have a microwave?
I think that's a census, but it's something similar to that.
Listen, fine. I'm happy to give the information. We want to get an idea of who's living and who's doing what. Fine, I understand that. Why don't you have a central registration system where everybody with a beating heart has a number, like a fingerprint? That is a unique, unchangeable, unmanipulatable, I can't say manipulable, unmanipulatable system where you can't fake, falsify. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're saying, Merv, but the point is that's a sort of different thing. With Aadhaar card, that is the most ambitious project really across the globe. I mean, your Aadhaar card has to be linked to your phone number and things like that. So they've gone to a great extent.
Is it bulletproof?
To have.
Is it bulletproof?
I'm not saying it's bulletproof, but why
can't you have bulletproof?
Why do you want another system though?
Why don't you have one system that's bulletproof? Do we not have the technology? In the UK, what do you use to identify yourself, Joanne? If anybody ever stops you by the law, in America, you can use Social Security. I can use a driver's license. I can use multiple forms of like official ID.
Yeah.
In the UK, what do you have?
Well, you'd have your Social Security.
You do have a Social Security number, right? Mm-hmm. What else?
if you've got a driving license or a passport.
There you
There's
go.
nothing else. There's no ID card.
Those are official ways to identify anybody, correct? So you can weed out the riffraff, the people that don't belong, the people that are doing something illegal, and everything you own and everything about you is registered to that number. That is absolutely unmanipulatable. They've got the technology. Why don't they do that here? Have you ever asked the question, why do they not want to do it here?
We know why.
You know why, right? Hey, I sang maka. Can we very quickly, there was a 1,000 crore scam. We were talking about the wasting of money and the government wanting us to be austere and save money. Very briefly, Mr. Barreto, can you talk about this? There was a 1,000 crore scam unearthed by the PWD. Now, what happened and why is nobody locked up behind bars? What's this all about?
This is all. It's alleged that this has happened. A company allegedly obtained a Class IAA super contractor enlistment.
By the way, sorry, Ajo, this is advertising. We didn't make this up.
Yeah, this is.
Give them the credit. This is from the Herald.
On the Herald. So
Yeah.
I'm reading from there.
It's a private construction firm, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and apparently they got contracts worth thousands of crores or 1,000 crores at least, and they weren't even qualified for it because they have to meet a certain experience. They have to be able to show that they've done a lot of work in the past.
Yeah.
Like a tender when you put out a tender. no?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for certain projects, you can only be eligible if you have done 100 other different types of projects from the previous classes.
So you meet certain
move up-
criteria.
Yeah, you move up the chain, and in this case, these guys never had it. It was all a fraud. It was given to them, and I don't know if it ended up going nowhere, which it probably did.
Yeah, but that's a joke, right? That's exactly why I started this conversation when we mentioned Narendra Modi ji's speech, right? Now this is 1,000 crores.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is not some silly ragtag. This is reported by the Herald, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where and who has been tasked with figuring out where this money went? And I want this. You want the transparency. You want to know exactly what happened. Now this is 1,000 crores worth of taxpayer money that's wasted, right? Where'd it go? Did it end up in suitcases being transported overseas to somebody's bank account? Did it go into somebody's pocket where they transferred it into somebody's wife's cousin's aunt's name to use to buy property? So this is happening, and this is what's frustrating, right?
And they don't mention which project this was used for, if it was used for a project, and we don't know. But what is startling is the due checks and balances that should have been done by the PWD before awarding somebody a contract was never done. So that is most worrying. Why aren't the offices in the state doing their job?
How many times have I been asking you that question, dude?
Yeah.
How long have I been asking the same damn question? This is not a lakh or 10 lakhs or 100 lakhs. This is 1,000 crore.
And this is just one contract. Imagine there are many other contracts throughout this country that we don't, like, probably maybe similar to this. I don't know for sure, but it's likely. We know how this country works.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Barreto?
Yes, sir.
Why have heads not rolled? Why have people in power, that are tasked, the minister, the PWD, right?
Yeah.
Who's the minister?
The PW minister,
Yeah,
I think
Conrad.
it's Sudhin.
Okay.
it's in the-
Why has he not been held to task? Like in the States, if something happened, you'd be pulled in front of Congress,
You know
right? Why? No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying to you, this has happened, right? This is 1,000 crore. Why hasn't this been made public? Why? The judicial system is an absolute joke right now, so you can't take it to court. But has nobody been taken to task over where this money's gone and why has it not been reported and made public knowledge?
Yes.
Anybody knows?
I don't know, but I was just going to say...
Try scamming 10 lakh and see what happens to you. Forget about 1,000 crores. Sorry, Joe.
It's essentially saying that the allegations are that a civil engineer and PWD contractor, a guy called Manoj Dukle, has filed formal complaints alleging that the firm used misleading paperwork regarding the muddy tank filling scheme in Karnataka to wrongfully bypass eligibility requirements. Then supposedly there's been procedural lapses years, saying that there were 3 different versions of a completion certificate presented, and the firm improperly claimed individual experience from a joint venture to qualify for massive public tenders in Goa. And so essentially it's saying the case has reached the Vigilant Department's anti-corruption branch for review. The firm's denied the allegations, saying they're ready to cooperate with any official inquiry.
Cooperation now.
Bullshit. Can I tell you something? I just bought a plot of land, a simple, small little plot of land. Do you know how much vetting the bank did for a small loan? Forget 1,000 crores. You know how much Joe Schmo, Joe Public, small little person like me, how much goddamn scrutiny and affidavits and letters. Joanne, you were part of this process.
Of course, it took over our lives, really. It was an 18-month project, really, to get it across the line.
And this is a piddly loan that we had to buy a plot of land. This is 1,000 crores. If you release this money, is there nobody at the gate watching to see where the money's being transferred to?
If the Prime Minister is serious about austerity, this is the money that he has to recover.
Yeah, you really think he gives a shit about this?
If the Chief Minister is sincere about austerity,
There you go.
collect this, make sure you recover
There
this money
you go.
right
Heads
now.
roll, things get auctioned off, and people get fined, people go to jail.
You asked me why heads are not rolling. Because Indians, when people ask Indians yes or no, they have that famous expression, they roll their heads.
What am I? This is
That's the extent.
Zatamare.
That's the extent it's going to go to.
Look, Willie's
Give
doing
me
it right
some
now.
time to get
Willie.
back to you.
No, but this is the expression. Baba macho ek minute ra tuka sangta. Ra macho. Ek minute dino maka. Why? It says 1,000 crores. Anyway, I'm not going to harp on it. It's happened. It's done. And this is why it's frustrating. And people go elsewhere and succeed. Our Goans and our Indians go around the world and succeed because they have processes in place. And this place that we live in, this is happening under our nose. I wanted to talk about workers very briefly, Joanne. There's a lot of women out there that are in the task force, that are in the workforce in Goa.
Yeah.
I read this somewhere and it said childless women are ideal workers. Why? And I hate to say it, I agree to a degree, but women with kids and marriages and this things, they have a lot more responsibilities. What's this all about?
So, I mean, this is something that I'm just making assumptions about because I kind of skipped over it because being a woman in the workplace, I've faced discrimination. I've basically know that I've been underpaid to do the same job as a male colleague. So something like this, it's essentially probably focusing more on the fact that if you haven't got kids and you don't have to rush home to them, then they can probably be more dedicated to get their jobs done on a day-to-day basis. So, I mean, this is like some kind of study, but as I say, it's nothing I've really gone into to any great degree. But I've worked in places where they would only employ females because it kept the wage bill lower, which is actually illegal. I've worked in places where it was the guys who got the senior level jobs because the women would have to go off on maternity leave. So why bother putting them into those positions of
That's a very valid reason, and I agree with this statement, but I'm just saying to you, women work very hard. We've got a couple of women that work in our organization that work very, very well. The issues are obviously maternity or wedding or kids and all this kind of stuff that can cloud the waters. But it's a strange discussion. Whether you have kids or not, you should be capable. You should be the best person for the job, whether you're male or female. It's sad because we employ a lot of people, and sadly, that's a huge disadvantage to having people with kids because they take a lot more leave when there's problems at home. We're understanding. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen. Yeah.
I think this is discriminatory, actually.
Oh, shut up, Audrey.
I'll tell you why. Because now the emphasis will be on women who are not married or don't have any children, and they'll probably get hired more. So you're discriminating against women who want to have a family. Right?
I'm not doing it. It's bound to happen. But at the end of the day, as a boss, somebody's paying money. You want your value for money. You want the best bang for your buck. And if somebody's got kids, and when I interview you and you tell me I've got kids and I travel take 3 buses to get to work, I'm less likely to hire you. Whereas if you're a young lady and you're capable and you can do I don't care, male or female, I'm going to give you the job. So it's not. It can be. But here again, what about the girl child?
What about it?
That's such a crime that's been happening in this country for many, many years. So this is nothing compared to that. That's a lot worse, right?
But what is it
called?
It's part of the problem.
What's the word? Infanticide.
Femicide.
So these things are happening here. They're not necessarily right. They're horrible, but they do happen. I'm just bringing this to your attention because this obviously shouldn't be the case, but it does happen. We talked about, yes, go on.
So I was just going to say, this was a study by the Goa Institute of Management, and they said it was research that's been published in the prestigious international journal Equity, Diversity and Inclusion, which is fantastic, but you know fine well that has been dropped completely in the US since Donald Trump came into power.
Yeah, he's turned it on its ear. I want to talk about human rights. We spoke about smart meters. Just very briefly, we spoke about it last week. I cannot understand why this has become an issue, yeah? What do human rights organizations have an issue with smart meters? Anybody? Goa smart meter offensive triggers human rights scrutiny. Human Rights Commission issues notice after Geraldo report highlights government's coercive smart meter push. What up?
This is more likely to do with consumer rights, which
Meaning?
falls under the ambit of human rights, right? So, like in this case, you have the government trying to push the new smart meter implementation. And as I explained previously as well, there are certain conditions that, according to the government itself, needs to be met by each state before they can even consider smart meters. And we have not reached that. Our losses for electricity is very less compared to other states. So it's not really required in Goa. So hence the government pushing for a smart meter in Goa is kind of an iffy deal.
It's a no-brainer, dude. It's a stupid... Listen, I can't believe we're discussing this. It works everywhere around the world. Can I give you a simple suggestion?
Sure.
All the people that go around reading meters, when they put smart meters in, let them go and do the census and let the teachers get back to work. Let the teachers do their job, go to school and teach. And all these guys that are sent around to take and read meters, you don't need them anymore. Use them with the smart meters in place. Use those people that used to go and read meters to go and do your census.
Yeah, but one thing is the teachers are doing this during the summer holidays. That's one of the drawbacks.
You can't have it both ways, mate. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. Like Ajoy said, let the teachers focus on doing their jobs. They're probably some of the most important people in our community that are educating our children.
Well, they need a break, don't they?
They do. So that's what I'm saying to you. I'm giving you a very simple suggestion. Put in the damn smart meters. They work everywhere in the world. You don't need to go and try and figure out who's home to read the meter. This is all read remotely. It's all electronic. It's all digital. It is all next gen technology. Just implement it and you'd be a lot better off doing it.
Quick question: how is the reading going to reach the department?
Baba, it is tied into the computers. How do they know how many, what's a good example? Mate, are you kidding me? You're asking me the information? They have everybody's information being read by the meter. You ever heard of IoT devices?
Yes.
So what are you asking me? You're a tech guy, man.
No, but you know the networks in Goa.
Oh, shut up, Ajoy. See, now you guys, this is the typical reason why we don't have this.
Merv, okay, you're saying it's going to go wireless, that information to some remote server, wherever it may be in Timbuktu. Do you know I don't even get a proper cell phone connection in my house? How is that? So I'm going to get zero bills. Please bring the smart meter. I want.
And how does the electricity reach your house?
In underground,
of course it reaches your house, right?
Yes.
The same way that electricity can conduct. How do you pay your telephone bill, Bubba?
I paid over the internet.
How does the internet reach your house to pay that bill?
Cables that you provide.
I don't do Panjim. Don't put it on me. I'm surprised Willie the dumbass. I'm sorry. Willie, my friend, is asking such a dumb question. Mate, stop being backward and blaming the system. There are technologies in place and stuff that works right now where the government can be austere on their own. Put in these meters. They work everywhere else. Nobody can cheat the system. They're bulletproof and they will tell the government automatically through their computerized systems how much you've consumed and how much you have to pay.
It's not a dumb question. This thing is, if the meter has a chip inside, okay, how is the chip going to communicate with the servers? It needs internet. Where is it going to get the internet from? Does that meter have a SIM card inbuilt, or is it going to connect to my Wi-Fi, home Wi-Fi?
Internet use.
And how does it work everywhere else around the world?
Exactly.
How does the technology work everywhere else around the world?
Wait, Baba, I am giving money for smart meter. I'm not giving you my internet connection for your bloody connection to bloody do its job.
Bloody. Very bloody.
Yes.
But be smarty. All I'm saying to you is
Exactly.
it works.
Get your own Wi-Fi, get your own internet, and don't use my internet connection.
Typical.
Or go to Mov Enterprises.
Typical. Thank you, by the way. That's a free plug. Typical Goan mentality. It works everywhere else in the world.
Baba,
You might not need an internet connection. It can be digitized. You can put a SIM card. Mate, it can work.
You know what they'll depend on? Starlink. You just mark my words.
Oh, yeah, because it's so much more expensive as well.
Trust me on this.
You're from Panjim, aren't you?
Baba, these are
you're the
real
people
world
that come-
realities in Goa. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it works everywhere else in the world. Mate, people are coming here to... Baba, what was a shackathon about? The hackathon. You've got the technology. You want to build a smart city. You can't implement things in a smart city. Technologies that are being used all around the world. You're asking me, how will they read your meter at home?
Exactly.
For flip's sake. Willie, you're
Welcome
blowing my
to
mind, my
Goa.
man. You are blowing my mind, Wilbert Cardoza.
I can understand in a city like Panjim where they have free Wi-Fi all over the roads and all. But
Rubbish.
what they are going to
We
do
don't
in
get that also, bro.
yeah, but what they are going to do in villages? They are going to install antennas
I
everywhere.
am telling you. I promise you.
How do you get telephone signal?
Murph, come with me. Both
How
of
do you
you.
get telephone signal?
Telephone signal is through the radio, but they have to install another separate chip. Who are they going to get the money to power those chips from?
Oh my God.
Like the SIM card.
You're actually going to ask that stupid question. Those are all inbuilt into the machine. They come and install the machine and make you have a connection. And if you don't have a connection, they figure out a way to make sure that the machine's installed, that is read automatically. It is not tamperable. You can't
luck.
screw. Come on, guys.
Good luck.
I'm not talking about this anymore. I'm done. You guys complained about all these damn tourists in Panjim. Now, there's a film shooting in Panjim that causes inconvenience to the taxpayers. Tell me about that. You're going to whine about that too, Ajay. Tell me. Come on, dude.
I don't stay in those areas, so I have no problem.
You live in Panjim. They want to do filming in Panjim. Let them do it. They do it in New York. They generate revenue in New York. Use that revenue. Sorry.
Baba, the question is not about doing a shoot in Panjim.
Get it?
The question is the taxpayer has paid for the maintenance of the roads, and the taxpayer is the last person that needs to be inconvenienced.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Now
right.
in this case, you have look. This is shoot. I think this is actually using one of our public buses, the Kadamba buses, that has been taken out of commission.
Decommission.
Out of commission for that day or 2 days to do a film shoot in that bus. So somebody's not getting home on time. I can guarantee you.
You mean to tell me that's the only bus you got?
Are you talking about the traffic jams?
And then moving on, you have no police there. There's a traffic jam. People are getting stuck in traffic, probably can't move. And there's nothing against the film shoot. You talking about New York, right? You have a lot of shoots in New York. You think they're going to do this to their public there in New York?
The thing is, in New York City make a lot of money from the film and TV industry because they charge. So
They charge a shed load of money, mate, and that money goes back to the government coffers. The New York the financial system to be able to be used to develop this. You've got a zero emission bus, a beautiful bus right now, by the way. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm agreeing with you 100%. But why don't you have the people that are allowing this to be properly done when there's no traffic, not during rush hour, and the bus is you charge them an arm and a leg, but use that money back into the system, right? To let your what is it, the water authorities monitor and police the rivers. Let your police have brand new bikes and Scorpios and Jeeps to do their jobs. But where's the money for this film shoot? Who organized it? Who planned it? Who gave the permissions?
Yeah.
There've got to be channels you follow, no?
But the residents are saying that there was no prior notice served to them.
They should be angry about that. Of course, I agree.
That's what we're talking about, Mo.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But you have to hold the authorities responsible, right? Why are the stupid decisions being made after us paying our taxes where we get screwed in the process, no? You need somebody with a brain.
So they're saying the ESG and the corporation of the city of Panjim need to enforce stricter protocol.
Exactly.
Because these people say they had permissions. So, of course, you can't just all of a sudden just set up a shoot any way you feel like it. You actually do need to get those permissions. But they're also, in some of the reports, I was kind of reading about some person that was assaulted or had been injured quite a few years back as a result of some film shoot going on, and maybe I don't know whether he'd objected to it or something like that, but he was injured, and so it was just essentially saying.
This is important, but it's not as important as the next and one of the few topics I want to get to right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned in to the Merto Show. We talk about things that are happening right here in our beloved Goa. We do the show live every week, and we want to make sure that we bring topics to light just to get people involved and know what is happening. On the Merto Show, we talk about a lot of topics that may be very contentious, but these are the opinions of the people expressing them and not the implied or expressed opinions of the Merto Show. You can get in touch with us anywhere you get your social media. If you've got a comment, if you've got an opinion, if you want people to know something that we might have missed, get in touch with us. The social media sites are on the screen right now, but anywhere you get your social media, check out the Merto Show and our website, themertoshow.com. Give us a call, 750-724-6246. Leave us a like, share, support what we're doing. If you want to show us a little love, tell people about us, but we'd love to hear from you. We're going to continue on with the second half of the show. Ajoy, I wanted to talk about something very, very serious. We spoke about it, or we discussed it, about this poor medical negligence, dude. Something that happened recently and really cost a very, very valuable limb to a young person.
Yeah. So
what's going on, dude?
So this is a really sad story that unfortunately it's alleged due to negligence that this doctor, this young boy had his leg amputated. So this is a huge issue. This is like obviously a life-changing situation for him. So it's just really, really sad. And the doctor involved has actually been suspended. So in terms of how it's unfolded and whether there'd been any complaints about him before, that's something I'm not familiar with, but this is just obviously it's a life-changing, shocking situation for this young boy.
I'm not trying to make light of the situation. This is not the norm. This poor kid has lost his leg. This is a mistake. This happens all the time, and you don't ever hear about these things. This has been luckily brought to light, but this kid will never have a second leg for the rest of his life. They need to be compensated. But these things are going to happen. People are human. They make mistakes. Not at the cost. I mean, but obviously it's his leg, Ajoy, not his life. The fact is that this should not happen at all.
The question is, Mo, okay, mistakes could happen. First of all, this is a very serious mistake.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
It impacts somebody's... This is not
life.
It's not somebody who's at the end of their life. It is somebody who's young, who's just starting out in life and has to bear the cost of this mistake for the rest of their life. That's one. Number two, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know of any database that I can go to that can tell me whether a doctor has any infringements against them?
No.
And is there a body that actually acts on complaints of medical negligence and removes these people?
I don't know.
From their jobs? Because
I don't know.
This is very serious.
Why don't you ask the health minister? Ajoy, you're asking a very valid question. I love what you're saying. The fact of the matter remains, you would think you would leave that up to the hospital administrators who hire these doctors, right? To check and see their backgrounds and they haven't screwed up and if there are complaints being made. Ajoy, what you're saying is so true. Joanne, you have, like the legal system has the bar, you've got a medical bar, you've got a doctors, whatever, they get written up or whatever. But you'd expect that to be done by the authorities before they're given jobs in hospitals, no? It's not up to the public. It's not up to the public. We don't hire them. We go to a hospital blindly. Mm-hmm. It's up to the hospital administrators to hire these people, and you're expecting them not to make mistakes.
But the problem is, because of people, that doctor that probably knows people around town, that doesn't get taken to its logical conclusion, and that doctor doesn't see any what you call the law applied.
You don't know that.
No, I know this for a fact. I know cases of. There are, for example, people are scared. You ask why people don't want to take this to court. You know how expensive it is to take it to court?
It's a joke because the legal system's a joke.
Now, say for example, you have a very prominent hospital. And I know of a natural case that I can't talk about it.
Always?
Yeah. It's
secret matter to.
No, it was secret. These are life and death situations.
Always?
But
danger matter to.
A well-known, very well-known private hospital here in Goa, right? They protect the doctors against any legal
malpractice.
Action. Not because of the doctor, it's because of their name attached to them, right? It's a question of a branding issue. All of these things play, and you know what? The odds are stacked against the person who's had negligence against them. That's the problem.
It's a sad state of affairs because this kid's lost his life. He's lost his life.
Leg.
He's lost his leg. Sorry. mistakes happen, but people have to be held responsible. Reprimand them. They can't be. This can't happen, dude. I mean, sorry. If it was a case of life, think about it. If it's a matter of life and death, and your life is in this person's hand, and they screw up and you die, it's a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
But this is really sad. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, the thing is, it seems like it was like an innocuous injury. He broke his leg and he was taken to the hospital in order to get the plaster on his leg. But apparently the medical person who was actually putting the plaster on was unsupervised. And
Yeah, but that shouldn't happen, Joe.
I know, of course it shouldn't. I've fractured two limbs whilst I've been living here in Goa, and I've had questionable kind of treatment. But unfortunately, with this little boy, he started vomiting and everything the next day, and he was transferred to GMC. But unfortunately, his leg got gangrene. And so therefore, they weren't able to save it, which is really horrific.
Which is so silly. And you're expecting a medical facility to do their jobs, and the medical officials that are there to be qualified and the right people doing the right thing. It's sad, this poor kid. I feel really, really bad.
You know, it says in this report here, an application of a plaster slab was advised as part of initial management in this case, and the slab was applied by multitasking staff, not the actual doctor.
Yeah, but that's exactly why you've got to hold people responsible. Where the hell was the damn doctor? Why was this done by somebody unsupervised that wasn't qualified, that shouldn't have been doing this damn job? These people are life and death, by the way. This is unluckily, sadly for this boy, he's lost his leg. What if it cost somebody a life because you weren't supervised and you weren't allowed to do the job in something you did without the consent or without the knowledge or the training or the experience or the education of being a doctor, right? This could cost a life, mate.
Mo,
Yeah, Baba.
if you have time, I'll tell you about the case of my mom.
Oh,
Yeah, I can tell you about a case of my mom that happened.
how long is it going to take?
It's going to take me 2 minutes.
Done.
Okay, so my mom had a fall, and you know her finger was after checking it was broken, right? So at that time we thought it was just dislocated. So then we took her to a very, very prominent. Again, I can't give the names here.
Sang mare.
A very,
Bevin.
very prominent hospital in Mapsa.
Manipal.
I'm not
Sorry, go on, dude. I'm just being
And-
silly.
area.
there was a young doctor there who advised that my mother go for an X-ray, and you know the X-ray was done. We came back to the doctor. The doctor studied the X-ray, and he said, "Oh, this is just a dislocation." He put my mother in some kind of a wrap on the finger, and that was the end of it. Then after 2 weeks, we were told to check to see if it had healed, and it hadn't healed. So we went, to get a second opinion, and that doctor said, "What the hell is going on here? This is not a dislocation or a ligament injury. You have actually broken your finger."
No.
So the first doctor,
Improper diagnosis.
after checking the X-ray, has not figured out that there was a fracture. And it gets even worse. So because it took 2 weeks to get to treat that fracture, my mother had to go in for surgery. So she went to another big hospital somewhere in Ribandar, right?
And now sang rahe.
Anyways, surgery was done, and my mother has a very low tolerance to pain. And the poor thing, they had put pins, external pins, and what have you to get that thing. It was surgery. She went through that whole laborious process and very, very painful process of getting that done. It healed up, and then you know what? She had to go for physiotherapy. And she, you have to bend your finger and what have you. So then my mother couldn't bend her finger, and when she realized they couldn't bend the finger, they realized that the surgery was done wrong.
Shut up, Andre. You're pulling my leg. So wrong diagnosis and then the wrong surgery.
Apparently the tendon or something that was done inappropriately, so she cannot bend her finger.
No.
And my mom won't go back for another surgery, obviously, because she doesn't. It's too painful for her.
Dude.
And she's too scared.
This is the lovely Vina Barreto, Ajwa Barreto's mom. I was wondering the other day, I waved at her and she gave me the bird. And I was like, I'm just saying hello. No, I'm only kidding. But Ajoy, you mentioned a very, very valid point earlier. Why or who do you report these problems, right? There should be some kind of repercussion. You've screwed up. Now, this is 2 different hospitals. So why or how do you know how you fix? If you make a complaint, by the way, how do you know that that this person's not going to screw over the next 10 people kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Right.
There should be some centralized reporting.
Yes, absolutely. There should
My
be
poor
an independent body where you can go with your complaint and they will act on it. At least check it out fairly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this has to be fairly. It has to be independent.
Yes.
Joanne, you went through this.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'd
I'd broken my wrist, and when it had eventually healed, I went to the physiotherapist, and my before X-ray and my after X-ray were actually mixed up by the physiotherapist. She said, "Oh, it's healed well." I went, "No, that is the after X-ray." And she was like, "Oh my goodness." So, it was actually worse. And when I actually broke my wrist a few years ago, we actually opted to get some bolts in it this time, because the thing is, obviously the first time around it was the other hand, but the first time around it was obviously moving around too much and it just didn't heal properly.
I tried to pay the doctor extra to put a couple extra stitches in the upper area just to keep it. No, I'm kidding. Listen, I love my wife. And can I just say this? This is not the norm. This happens on a rare basis. The fact of the matter remains, you need to make sure that these kind of mistakes are not happening. And people like Mrs. Barreto or Mrs. Brito, they've got the knowledge, the education, the ability to speak and convey a problem. Can you imagine the poor people out there that get screwed all the time in a GMC and they don't have a recourse? And that breaks my heart all the time, because this stuff is happening. Not the norm, it's the anomaly, but those people need the justice too, you know what I mean? And that's what's scary.
I have a fantastic story there too, but I guess we don't.
I want to talk about, can we end on something? Can we do a fun or something really nice story?
Okay.
What do I want to talk about?
Talk about the bison, but that's not such a nice story.
No, I wanted to talk about the Nagoa Panchayat. Is this Nagoa like here, Saligo?
No, that's in South Goa, in fact.
What the hell is Nagoa? Well, they got another Nagoa.
Yeah, I did a double take when I read it, and I actually had Googled it, and it's saying that it's Nagoa in South Goa.
Talk about it quickly, because I do want to get to the buffalo story. I'm going to end on 2 different, really very strange stories after this, but we need to end on a good note. We've talked about so many bad things. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, there are some brilliant doctors. There's some beautiful facilities, medical facilities. There's people doing great jobs in not only the medical theater, but also with the police and government officials. When we talk about these things, it's not to bag and paint everybody with the same brush. This happens a lot, but we're bringing these topics to light to make people informed, make people aware, make people listen. At the end of the day, if you've had an issue that you want to talk about and bring to light so that it can help somebody else, that's why we're doing what we're doing. So we're not talking about everybody in general. We've got to point out these things that are glaringly obvious, topical, trending, things that are happening right now, and hopefully have a little bit of a laugh in the process of informing people. There's a panchayat in Pande, you said. The Nagoa Panchayat leading the way in garbage management. I'd love to hear about this, dude. What's up?
So they won an award, in fact, but I think this is a topic we need to go into in a lot more depth, because we talk about rubbish and waste a lot, and we've had people contact us about different initiatives that are actually going in different areas of Goa. I think we should just do a bigger conversation about this going forward.
What about this topic?
Yeah, just generally speaking about rubbish and waste management, because, it is a huge problem here in Goa, and I just feel we should.
It is. Garbage is a massive problem here. We've got the recycling plant in the Pilen Industrial Estate, and they do a great job, but sadly, they're not. We talked about the gas. They can create methane by burning or cleaning or whatever they do. They've got so much natural resource that's being wasted that could be used by residents of the state for LPG gas to cook, right?
Yeah.
But not only that, the facility is top class, world class, and it's just not being used to the max. This Nagoa Panchayat, recently awarded for the best waste management. Village Panchayat uses regular collection and strict fines to beat the garbage menace. Now, this is exactly why we do the show, to highlight these sometimes not so good, but this is a great example of something that's going well. So Valor, whoever the Nagoa Sarpanch is, Gabriel Fernandez, Anzil Godino, Punch members. Listen, these are things that can be started on a small, localized basis. There's a cat, Daniel Lobo, that's the Panchayat here, local Panchayat Sarpanch, and he's implementing these forward, trend-setting, leading projects, but they're also things that are being implemented in the village that are trend setting. I'll talk about that another time, but I want to talk about these are good things that these people are doing.
Yeah.
This is what you need your leaders to be doing, your punch members, your sarpanch, your local official, elected officials to be doing, right?
Yeah.
And these guys need to be highlighted. These things need to be talked about and made people aware. If you can start this in your little village, it can be replicated across the country.
Yeah.
It can be replicated across the state, the country, and it only takes one good example if somebody's doing their job.
Yeah, so I mean, this is in Salsa in South Goa, so they've actually won the Best Panchayat award in the South. So they're going plastic free and sustainable alternatives and things like that, and also very strict littering fines. So, this is excellent.
And it's working.
Yeah.
This is a microcosm of this place that we love, and you see the garbage everywhere, and tourists stop coming here, and locals get annoyed because there's a lot of us that do want to do our share, that do want to contribute, that know that we need to put garbage in receptacles. Yeah. You need the right facilities, infrastructure, no? It's sad because there's so much potential. There's some smart people that are willing to do so much, and these kind of projects, this Nagoa, I'd love it to be Nagoa Saliga, but it's Nagoa in the south, are doing a good job. So Valor Tuka, kudos to you. Clap hands. Ajoy.
Yep.
7.5 झाले रहे.
Okay, so
1.5 वरस झाले रहे. तो भूख लग रहे मका. We talked about our beloved Bison. Can we talk about this? It was something trivial. This is something light and airy, fun to talk about. Can I ask you, why are there more increase in bison attacks in Goa?
It's very simple, Mo.
Sang Baba.
Basically, we humans are now moving more into their habitat, and there is going to be a conflict. And if a human comes across a bison that has a shoulder height of 8 feet.
Shut up.
I'm not kidding you.
8 foot.
A fully grown Indian gore. It's the actual term.
I think you're smoking something.
No. I'm smoking just the right things, actually.
8 feet.
The front hoof to its shoulder, fully grown one can be at a height of 8 feet. They're huge.
I'm confusing them with buffalo.
No. This is a bison. I'll show you a picture. It's called the Indian gore, and they're not only huge, they're extremely agile. There are videos of these guys jumping over of walls with ease.
Wow.
So you're not gonna survive that if they attack you. But why are we hearing of these attacks now? It's because of the human wildlife conflict. We have not created a system to mitigate that, and this is the result.
Can I say this all the time to a lot of people that I meet, especially Europeans and tourists that come to Goa that are scared of spiders and snakes and lizards and we live in the tropics. Guys, we live in their homes. This is not this. You can build as a human. You might dominate the planet and do what you want, how you want, where you want, when you want. But we live in the tropics, and you're bound to have insects, spiders, mosquitoes, snakes, frogs. You're living in their homes. You can't. What you're saying is true, Ajoy.
But they're looking for wildlife crossings. There's been lots of campaigns that are talking about.
You can barely get a human to cross the street here without getting hit, mate. Leave alone a damn bison. Wildlife crossings, they don't happen very. What's this guy? Dinesh Gowde died in bison attack. Confirms Santosh Desai. Ajoy, this could be is that why they show the highway? He ran into a bison on the highway to try to cross the highway or something?
I think, I'm not sure about the case. Maybe
it's right there. Read whatever the heck it says.
It says Santosh Desai has confirmed that Dinesh Gowde died due to a bison attack based on eyewitness statements and preliminary findings gathered during the investigation. And I believe he's a home guard or something close to a forest official, right? So he must have been doing his job, and because of this issue that we have, Unfortunately, the bison has, attacked him and he's not survived. Very, very unfortunate.
It's sad because he lost his life, but this is not the norm. This is an anomaly. These are wild animals, and we live in their homes. There's one more thing that I want to talk about before we say goodnight. Ajoy, you mentioned this is mind blowing. You talk about not a perfect storm. What's it called? Something of events.
What, a perfect storm?
No. This is something that'll blow your mind. A person lost their life. Ajoy, speak about it, man.
So this is a very, very, very unfortunate incident. A very sad incident.
Young dude.
Of a Congress leader. He's a young Congress leader by the name of Ketan Batikar, who apparently was returning or was on his way through Anmod Ghat, and he stopped for a break. And during this break, he dropped his phone. And when he went to pick up this phone, he got bitten by a snake. And unfortunately, because there was no cell phone connectivity, there's no there's no health centers in that area. He couldn't get to a medical facility on time, and he sadly passed away. And we lost a very youthful leader, or somebody who everybody from across the political divide came across. They were shocked by this. And, I think we need to learn more about wildlife and the do's and don'ts, where to go and where not to go.
Can I tell you again, we live in the tropics, Ajoy, you're going to be surrounded by stuff that you don't even see. And truth be told, this is a young guy, a Congress leader, Ketan Batikar. They stopped on Anmod Ghat, you said, right? He went to take a leak, dropped his phone, went to pick it up and got bitten by a snake. This is not something that's going to happen all the time, but this is a shock. This is an absolute surprise. And it's cost a young person their life. But I'm saying to you, you've got snakes and wildlife and animals all around you that you don't even see.
But you need to identify,
Baba, how do you in the dark when you're taking a leak?
Firstly, if you're in a forest area,
don't take a leak.
Don't go inside. You don't go put your hand in bushes or something like that. You have to be very careful. You have to see, check, and then put your hand.
Can I ask you a question? I'm somebody's lost their life, so I'm being very serious, and our thoughts and prayers go to his family, because this is an up and coming young smart person, a leader. The fact of the matter remains, normally you would have wildlife run. If you make any noise or there's any vibration, snakes would normally just take off and run away, right? So if he's taking a leak and he drops his phone, you wouldn't expect a snake to unless it's a voyeuristic snake. Why would a snake stay there? So this is not the norm. This is something that does not normally happen. But you'd have to step on a snake for it to bite you, right? And obviously this must have been a strange where it fell and hit the snake, and when you pick it up and the snake struck or whatever the case, it cost him his life, not because the snake bit him, because there was no mobile signal. And by the time they got from the ghat to proper signal or to a medical facility, the venom probably killed the poor child.
You need to actually be very you should be trained. I think they should do this in school as to what to do when you have a snake bite.
Tourniquet.
Tourniquet it. You can drain out the blood. Somebody may have to suck the blood out.
Shut up! Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Don't ever. Listen. You can look at me as angrily as you want. That is the stupidest thing you could do. By the way, don't ever try to suck the blood out.
Why? Give me a medical reason.
Multiple medical things I've mentioned. If you've got any open sores in your mouth or any, that is the easiest way to kill somebody.
But if you
don't propagate. No, Ajoy, don't do that, dude. I know you want to help. Tourniquet, you said you spot on. Tie it off so the blood, you restrict the blood circulation, yeah? If you got bitten on, would you suck the blood out if I got bitten on my finger? Ajoy, I'm saying to you, don't ever do that.
See,
that's
if you got bitten on, blank, then you were probably doing a bad thing. You needed to get bitten. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, the last story, my favorite story. We talked about Banksy. There was a Goan girl from Saligaon. Shut your mouth. She's cute. She's from Saligaon. If she's from cute, just like, what's the other one? Coco Chanel model? What is a Chanel model? What's a Chanel model? Bavita Bandava. She's from Saligaon. She was my neighbor. I played badminton. And this girl and I used to play Lobio. I don't know what her name is. She's from my village. We spoke, I'm kidding, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, we talked about the Banksy. We put out a reel about the beautiful Banksy statue that just popped out of nowhere And Joanne and Ajoy came up with this brilliant reel that said, don't let...
Yusuf, actually.
Yusuf didn't do a damn thing.
We all came up with
Okay,
it.
zip it. Let me finish what I'm saying, please. We had a beautiful reel that we put out about the Banksy piece of art where you're stepping off a pedestal and you're letting the flag. Don't let nationalism or all this bullshit blind your view. This girl's from Goa, Ajoy says, play this. I love this because... we complain about having tourists here in Panjim. She's in the UK and she's reporting back to people around the world about a beautiful Banksy statue. And nobody's pissed off, by the way. Play it.
मी आता बँक्सीच्या सगळ्यात व्हायरल स्टॅच्यूच्या इथे आहे इन लंडन अँड इट लिटरली रिमाइंड्स मी ऑफ द मराठी सॉन्ग विठ्ठला कोणता झेंडा.
She's not going, she's
आणि मी
Maharashtrian.
माझ्या फ्रेंडला सांगत होते
Yeah.
आणि तो म्हणाला नाही हे त्याच्यावर
नाही.
जास्त क्रेझी आहे तू कोणताही झेंडा घे यू आर गोइंग टू बी ब्लाइंडेड बाय इट लाईक जस्ट लुक ॲट इट इट्स क्रेझी कंटेम्पररी सो रेलेव्हंट लाईक इट मेक्स यू थिंक इनसेन.
Well, माझा
Love it.
डगाचं लागली खडं पाणी. I know Marathi. This girl is not going, by the way. Sorry, I
Hang
lied.
on.
She didn't grow up next to me.
But once-
we didn't play Lobio together, but she's. It's nice to see somebody appreciating
We
something.
don't know whether she stays in Goa or not because she could very well be in Goa. She could be in northern part of Goa where they do speak Marathi.
I love the fact that she's appreciating this, right?
Yeah.
You know what stands out here?
What's that?
It takes
Her top?
I don't know about that, but
Her
it ta-
bottom? No, go on, tell me.
It takes somebody who is in London, an Indian in London, to recognize about the significance of Banksy. And here in India, we are so blind still.
I spoke about Ajoy. Who's the painter, the famous painter that I talked about, who's gone and anonymously painted a bunch of art
In Goa.
in Goa. What's his
Souza.
name?
Souza.
Souza's son, dude. I've passed it twice, by the way. Coming down from Alti on the right hand side, he's done a wall. The other day in Nagoa, I saw it on the right side on a wall. And in Saligaon, where did I see it? Somewhere next to the car wash. This is just being ignored. This is Souza's son. This young buck has come and done these, like a Banksy here in Goa, has done these beautiful paintings. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got a credited artist in our midst, a local guy that has painted these beautiful walls, and nobody gives it second. Some of the stuff was peeling, Joanne.
Oh, was it? Oh, well, that's a shame.
And it's such a shame because this is beautiful art
Yeah.
that you see on the side of these walls, and this guy's done it anonymously.
No, he's-
Actually, he signed his name in the base. This girl's in the UK and she's appreciating Banksy. Good for her. I don't know who she is. I didn't play Lobio with her, but she's not going. She's from that's Marathi. Anyway, Anikita, sang.
I've got a couple of things to say because it is May Madness. So it's the football season is coming to a close in the UK. So I have to shout out one of my Bezzy mates, Mr. Joe Rogers, who was on Cloud 9 yesterday when Celtic...
Max and Joe?
Yeah.
Oh.
So basically, Celtic managed to win the Scottish Championship. They actually... on the last day of the season, they actually beat Hearts, who had actually gone into the match leading by 1 point, but actually Celtic managed to win it, I think, for the 6th time in a row or something like that.
Wow.
So absolutely over the moon.
There must have been some alcohol consumed in the household that day.
Well, they're in Amsterdam, actually, because Marzi, my goddaughter's band, are actually playing London Calling in Amsterdam. So they've all gone there for the weekend.
Wow.
And it's Hannah, my goddaughter's birthday, tomorrow. So I love you to bits. So proud of you, Hannah. And I hope you have an amazing birthday, a fabulous year ahead. And another one of my great friends, Lindsay, is also having a birthday tomorrow. So wishing you
Is she still in the UK?
the very best. She's on holiday. So that's fabulous. And also a great shout out to my friend Vicky, because she's a Man City fan and they won the FA Cup final yesterday.
Well,
They
hey.
beat Chelsea 1-0.
Sweetie, you should do a sport report.
I should do.
You love your football, and you're so into it, man. You should really do a report. I'll do the food reporting, man. I can do some food reporting. I can tell you about some food. We've got to take this show to the end. We were done. Another episode of the Merto Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had an absolute blast, and I hope you enjoyed it. We love to do what we do. We do this because we're passionate about this place where we live, and this is our only way. This is the only way we have where we can contribute our time and do something to give back to the community. No matter where in the world you are, you can get in touch with us on social media. You can send somebody, just like Joanne did, a shout out. You can wish somebody. You want to put the social media sites on the screen, Mr. Cardozo? You can get in touch with us. We'd love your support. We really do appreciate the people that are tuning in to listen, the comments that we get, the likes, the shares, the subscribes. We do appreciate your kind support. We do the show every week, and you can check us out on social media, wherever you get your social media, the Merv Brito Show, our website, themervbritoshow.com. And even if you want to get in touch with us, like I said about doing a shout out, 750-7246-246. We talk about some contentious topics, but it's through passion. It's not to put anybody down. It's just to make people aware of what's going on, just in case you haven't heard. It's been a blast. You've sent your shout-outs?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure whether I got that right 6 times in a row, but they've won it 56 times. And it always used to be between Rangers and Celtic. But Hearts, the Edinburgh team, they actually really were on point to actually win that, but Celtic snatched it.
It's okay. I won't lose any sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another. We haven't got into the World Cup and some contests. Are we going to give away some prizes, Willie?
Nope.
Joy. Joe, you tightwad.
We should.
Neil's asleep, dude.
But only if our viewers call in and do certain things to join in the fun with us.
But you got to explain the contest, how you win. You got to put some pride. Neil, can we do something before the World Cup? When does the World Cup start, Joanne?
It starts in June.
I hear the applause. That's time for me to get off the air. June what?
Was it June 12th? I know we did a countdown a few weeks ago. It was 39 days to go, so it's not that long to go.
You know what else I want to do? We should do a monsoon pool here in the studio. Everybody put in 1,000 or 100 rupees and guess the day the first rain will fall.
Oh. It's already been raining.
That's not raining. That's not the monsoon, baby.
Okay, it's not the proper monsoons, but it did rain already.
No, but that's not the what day? Like everybody says, what are we in May? June 6th or June 7th or some crap, right? Mm-hmm. We should do a football pool. We should do a pool where we give listeners an opportunity to win by guessing the right day, date, and time
of
the monsoon starting. And you know it's the monsoon, no?
Oh, okay.
Fantastic, huh? You're coming up with good ideas now.
Well, there seems to be only one on this goddamn show who wants to see something change.
Ooh.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just saying, I think we just should capitalize on the interaction we're already getting. You don't have to do giveaways.
Mr. Barrett, any last words?
Viva Valo or whatever. Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Goa.
Willy Wonka.
Sanjo.
Sanjo, get that in. Not now, dude.
Next month.
Not next month. My God, let's get through the monsoon and World Cup before we worry about San Juan. Okay, that's it. That's it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Merv Brito, and I thank you for joining us, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself. On behalf of the Merv Brito team, until next Sunday, we will see you next week. And like my bald friend Telly Savalas said, who loves you, baby?
You took that from me.